Hi everyone, it's Debbie with Book and Bujo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Let's see if I was able to complete the 2025 52 Book Club Readathon. The 52 Book Club Readathon is a year-long readathon, and I will leave all of the links down below for the 2025 and the 2026 readathon in case you would like to participate this next year. Throughout the year, there's mini challenges and there's some like summer extras and things like that. I pretty much just participated in the main 52 Book Club Readathon and didn't really do any of the extra stuff. But let's go ahead and go over each of the prompts and see if I was able to complete it. There's no hard or easy mode as far as I'm aware. There's just the prompt and you do it and there you go. Prompt number 1, there is a pun in the title. And I read Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce, and that was so cute. Prompt number 2 is a character with red hair. And I actually read quite a few where the main character had red hair, but I decided to choose The Solstice Court by Jade Juniper, and this was also an excellent book. Prompt number 3 is to read a book where the title starts with the letter M, and I read My Friend the Murderer by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and this is a short story, and it was also very good. Prompt number 4 was to read a book where the title starts with the letter N, and this time I read Nightmare Abbey by Thomas Love Peacock, and this is a Gothic satire. Prompt number 5, the plot needs to include a heist, and there's many good books for this one. I would recommend The Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, but I had already read that one. So this time I went with Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. This is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series, and this was also excellent. Any of the books in this series would work for this prompt. Prompt number 6, the book needs to be set in spring, and I read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett, and it's the first book in the Emily Wilde series. Prompt number 7, the book is set in summertime, and for this I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Prompt number 8 was to read a book set in autumn, and for that I read Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands, the second book in the Emily Wilde series by Heather Fawcett. And then the last prompt in the genre prompts, and this is a prompt set in winter, and for this one I read A Wonderful Christmas Crime. This is the 6th book in the Christmas Tree Farm Mysteries by Jacqueline Frost, and it is amazing. I love this series, one of my favorites. I love to read one of these books every year. Prompt number 10, the author's last name is also a first name, and for this I read The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. Loved it. Prompt number 11, read a prequel. And for this I read Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, and this is the second prequel. So I guess you have prequel 0 for Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and this one would be 0.5, I guess. Loved it. So good. Hamish is amazing. Prompt number 12. The book has a moon on the cover, and for this one I read Court of Shadows by C.N. Crawford, and this is the first book in the Institute of the Shadowfae series. Prompt 13. The title has 10 letters or less, and for this one I read Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Prompt number 14, read a climate fiction, and for this I read I Cheerfully Refuse by Leif Enger. Prompt number 15, book includes Latin American history, and for this I read 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Prompt 16, the author has won an Edgar Award, and for this I read Sadie by Courtney Summers. Prompt number 17, the book is told in verse, and for this I read The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Prompt number 18, a character who can fly. And for this one, I took that as in they know how to fly a ship or an airplane or something like that, not as in like Superman flying. And I read Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series. Prompt number 19, the book has short chapters, and for that I read Too Far to Fall by Shane Sawyer, and this was adorable, and the chapters are nice and short, so it's if you want to just read, I just want to read one more chapter, it's easy to do. And this is the first book in the Edie Doyle mysteries. Prompt number 20 is a fairy tale retelling, and I read The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. A character's name is in the title, and I read Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Prompt 22, a found family trope, and I read Table for Five by Izzy Bromley, and that was just so heartwarming and sweet. Prompt number 23 is A Sprayed Edge. And for this one, I read The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams, the first book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. And The Sprayed Edge is stunning. So beautiful. Prompt 24. The title is a spoiler. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. 25. The book breaks the fourth wall. And for this one, I read Rogue Protocol by Martha Wells, part of the Murderbot Diaries. Love that series. Prompt 26. More than 1 million copies sold. And I read Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. So good. Prompt 27. Features a magician. And, well, there's a lot. There's a lot. I read fantasy, so there's a lot. But I decided to go with One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Prompt 28. A crossover. It's set in a shared universe. And for this one, I read Trials of Apollo, book 5. I believe it was book 5. Yeah, book 5. The Tower of Nero. And this is by Rick Riordan. Prompt 29. Set in the same universe as prompt 28. And that is The Chalice of the Gods. And this is by Rick Riordan, and this is the 6th book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, but also the first book in the Senior Year Adventures. Prompt 30, In the Public Domain. And for this I read Paradise Lost by John Milton. Prompt 31, audiobook has multiple narrators. And I read Dealing with Dragons by Patricia C. Weirdy, and that was a full cast audiobook, and adorable. Prompt 32. Includes a diary entry, and I read The Tropic of Serpents by Marie Brennan, the second book in the Memoirs of Lady Trent series. Prompt 33. Read a standalone book, and I read The Blue Castle by Lucy Maud Montgomery. 5 stars. So good. If you like the Anne of Green Gables series, you'll like this one. Prompt 34. A direction in the title, and I read East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Prompt 35. Written in third person, and I read Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, the third book in the Locked Tomb series. Such a great series. Prompt 36. The final sentence is less than 6 words long. And I read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Such an interesting book. Prompt 37. A genre chosen for you by someone else. And this one ended up being chosen by a book club I was participating in. And that is All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. Prompt 38, an adventure story. I read Towers of Midnight by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson, part of the Wheel of Time series. Prompt 39 has an epigraph, and as most Brandon Sanderson books do, I read Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, the 5th book in the Stormlight Archives. Prompt 40, stream of consciousness writing, and I read The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. Prompt 41, the cover font is in a primary color, and I read The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu, and this is the 2nd book in the Remembrance of Earth's Past series. Prompt 42, a non-human antagonist. I read Silver in the Wood by Emily Tesh, the 1st book in the Green Hollow duology. Prompt 43, explores social class. I read The Will of the Many by James Eilington, the 1st book in the Hierarchy series. Prompt 44, a celebrity on the cover, and I read Brat by Andrew McCarthy. Prompt 45, the author releases more than 1 book a year, and I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, the 1st book in the Dream Harbor series by Laurie Gilmore. Prompt 46, read in a Burr month, and I read A Time of Dread by John Gwynne, the 1st book in the Of Blood and Bone saga. We're almost done. Prompt 47, I think it was blue, and I read Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. Prompt 48, related to the word puzzle, and I am reading Puzzle Heart by Jen Reese. Prompt 49, set in a country with an active volcano, and I read The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. Prompt 50, set in the 1940s, and I read The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. Prompt 51, 300 to 400 pages long, and I read Black Leviathan by Burned Purplies. And that one is a Moby Dick retelling, but with dragons and ships that fly in the air. And then lastly, prompt number 52, a book published in 2025, and I read A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. So I am happy to say I did complete all 52 books for the 52 book club, and I'm so excited to be able to participate in the 2026 one, and I am currently working on my possible TBR for that one, and I will have a video with what those books may or may not be coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. And I would like to encourage all of you to participate in the 52 Book Club Readathon. It is so much fun. It kind of takes you out of your comfort zone to read books you probably would never have picked up before, and I definitely had quite a few of those. And most of them I liked. Not all, but most. And if you made it this far in the video, leave the number 52 in the comments below to let me know that you were here. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!